Daleks by design were lethal at the best of times, but what about the most elite group of Daleks there ever was? This is, of course, the Cult of Skaro, an elite Dalek organisation higher than the Dalek Emperor himself. They were designed to think as the enemy thinks, to use initiative and ultimately exterminate their enemies. Ultimately, the Cult of Skaro was a great success for the Dalek species, somewhat. Members of the group contributed to the race's survival and many evil plans to destroy the universe around them, but that kinda backfired. For example, even when they suffered heavy losses, Dalek Caan was able to rescue Davros, the Dalek creator, and allow him to create a new Dalek Empire. One that would have enough power to devastate the known universe. This new empire even planned to destroy reality itself via the reality bomb. Ultimately, the Cult of Skaro are one of the most efficient groups of Daleks known in Doctor Who history. However, what happened to them, and where did they originally come from? For this, we dive into Doctor Who Explained, our new series here on Tardis Central. Let's go. Greetings everyone, I'm Jack and welcome to Tardis Central. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Doctor Who news, lore and more, then hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from a team here at Tardis Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Doctor Who universe. As always, please answer your thoughts in the comment section below, because if you're talking about Doctor Who, then we want to hear about it. Alternatively, suggest what we cover next here on the channel. The Cult of Skaro comprised 4 Dalek members selected by the Dalek Emperor. Each of these Daleks was a regular warrior, handpicked by the Emperor himself and sent for upgrades. These Daleks were given names, new weapons, and in some cases, unique armour, therefore making them some of the only known Daleks with actual names.
The last 4 Daleks in existence. So what's so special about you?
Doctor, they've got names.
I am Dalek Thay, Dalek Sec, Dalek Jast, Dalek Caan.
So that's it. At last. The Cult of Skaro. I thought you were just a legend.
The group leader, Dalek Sec, was a Dalek commander in charge of a 7th Incursion Squad. He was initially sent out to wipe out a species known as the Mechanoids, who only had remnant members left. Sec was successful in this mission and returned to the Dalek Emperor. Sec was rewarded with command of the Cult of Skaro and installed as its leader. To denote his importance, Sec was taken to have new Dalekanium installed. This would give him his unique black armour look. The black metalwork casing, a type of Dalekanium, was defensively superior to standard Dalekanium, typically seen on the Bronze Daleks. Dalek Sec would serve as the leader of the Cult of Skaro during the last Great Time War, and continue leading the cult until his defeat in New York City, which we'll talk about in a moment. 2 lesser known members of the Cult of Skaro were Dalek Thay and Dalek Jast. Originally Bronze Daleks, and the commander of Station Alpha, Thay was chosen to be part of the cult. Meanwhile, Dalek Jast could be identified by having the highest pitched voice compared to other members of the cult. Initially, he was the leader of the Outer Rim Defensive Battalion, and was eventually chosen to be part of the Cult of Skaro alongside its other members. Eventually, both Daleks Jast and Thay would be defeated side by side. The pair faced off against Dalek-human hybrids, but were quickly defeated when weapons were fixed on each of them.
Dalek Caan. Your entire species has been wiped out, leaving only you. Right now, you're facing the only man in the universe who might show you some compassion. Because I've just seen one genocide. I won't cause another.
Perhaps the most important member of the Cult of Skaro, next to Dalek Sec, was Dalek Caan. Like his fellow cult members, Caan was tasked with thinking creatively, like the enemies of the Daleks. Caan successfully created a new Dalek Empire after he fell through time via his emergency temporal shift, and rescued Davros, the creator of the Daleks. Unfortunately, Caan would be the last surviving member of the Cult of Skaro, after the 10th Doctor defeated the other members. Caan would go insane after he rescued Davros. However, while his actions would cost him his mind, it allowed him to see the complexity of time itself. Therefore, Caan was able to manipulate the timelines and eventually came to view the Dalek species negatively. The last surviving member of the Cult of Skaro set in a chain of motion of events which caused the downfall and eventual destruction of this new Dalek Empire. Caan was presumed killed when the Crucible was destroyed. In terms of who created the Cult of Skaro, it is unknown. We would say it's likely the Dalek Emperor himself. However, the Cult of Skaro was positioned above and beyond the Emperor and answered to no one, yet they still respected the Dalek leader. This possibly supports the idea that he ordered the creation to ensure the Dalek species survived. Ultimately, this worked for a little bit. The Cult of Skaro was instrumental in ensuring the Dalek species' survival of the last Great Time War. By some reports, the cult was created in response to other groups, such as the Eternity Circle and the Voltix Cabal. This would be to match the imagination of the Time Lords during the Time War. Survival was the key figurehead of the cult's survival and re-emergence as the Daleks. The cult operated as a final strategic reserve during the last Great Time War. Seeing the war's end as a disaster, the Cult of Skaro escaped the battles into the space between universes known as the Void. With the Void ship, the cult also had stolen a device known as the Genesis Ark, which was Time Lord technology. Having positioned themselves into the Void, the Cult of Skaro was not caught in the destruction of the Dalek fleet, yet they became aware of Gallifrey's fall. The cult sat in the Void and began thinking of new ways to evolve as a species. Due to sitting in the Void, the Cult of Skaro could easily slip back into time and space thanks to the Torchwood Institute. Torchwood was meddling with the fabric of time and space, which would cost them heavily. They opened a barrier to the Void, which had already been broken down by the cult's Void ship. It came through and sat in the Torchwood Tower for some time. Eventually the Cult of Skaro emerged and started taking control and asserting their authority. However, Torchwood had already been overrun with Cybermen who came through the Void from Pete's world. This parallel world sealed the Cybermen in their factories, which allowed them to escape through the Void and follow the Cult of Skaro's ship due to Torchwood meddling and allowing the Void barrier to be broken down. Humanity was ultimately caught in the middle of a conflict which saw Cybermen and Daleks go head to head around London. The cult eventually revealed their plan and what the Genesis Ark was. Using Rose Tyler, they activated the Ark and released millions of Daleks to combat the Cybermen's forces and take over Earth. The 10th Doctor eventually put a stop to both the Cybermen and Dalek forces. Activating the Torchwood technology, the Daleks and Cybermen were sucked back into the Void. However, the Cult of Skaro would not go down so easily. They were fitted with the ability for an emergency temporal shift. This bit of technology allowed the cult to survive the Battle of Canary Wharf and live to fight another day.
Emergency temporal shift!
The result of a time shift caused the Daleks to appear in New York City, circa 1930. Using their technology, they infiltrated the construction of the Empire State Building and began what they dubbed the Final Experiment. This was an attempt to create a new Dalek race. The Cult of Skaro built a secret laboratory underneath the building and attempted to create new Dalek embryos. This failed. Designed to think creatively, the cult devised a new plan. This time, they devised a plan to use Earth's population of humans as a new resource. Corrupting and taking advantage of Mr. Diogras, the cult placed Dalekanium upon the Empire State Building mast, which is on the roof, to fuse Dalek and humans' DNA, using an incoming sun-generated gamma radiation blast. Dalek Sec tested this on Mr. Diogras, becoming a new Dalek-human hybrid with thoughts and human emotions. While the other members of the Cult of Skaro, Thay, Jast, and Caan, began the invasion of Manhattan, Dalek Sec wanted to help humans and keep their own human emotions. This caused a rift in the cult's leadership and members. While the others were sworn and bred to follow Sec, they believed he was against the Dalek cause. Jast, Thay, and Caan revolted against Sec and imprisoned him. They ensured the Dalek-human hybrids became 100% Dalek DNA, and followed them and only them. Sadly, Dalek Sec was accidentally exterminated, attempting to stop the cult from killing the Doctor. With the original leader gone, Dalek Caan assumed the leader position. He ordered everyone to be wiped out, but the Doctor infused the DNA of the hybrids with his own, having gotten in the way of the gamma radiation blast. Therefore, the hybrids fired on Dalek Thay and Dalek Jast, killing them both. Sadly, Dalek Caan executed the hybrids remotely, seeing it as a failed experiment. While the 10th Doctor attempted to reason with Dalek Caan and offer him help, he was now the last known surviving Dalek. Caan would escape using his temporal emergency shift once again.
Let me help you. What do you say?
Emergency temporal shift!
Following the failure of the plans in 1930s New York, the Cult of Skaro was crippled. The losses of their leader, Dalek Sec, and both Daleks Jast and Thay resulted in Dalek Caan being the only survivor. Caan escaped using his emergency temple shift and found himself in the last Great Time War. Caan penetrated the time lock and rescued Davros, creator of the Daleks. The result of this did see Caan lose his mind. Having escaped his eventual demise, Davros created a new Dalek Empire, but eventually did lose control over them to the Supreme Dalek. This new Dalek Empire was purer and more powerful than the prior force, the 9th incarnation of the Doctor Face. Being a larger force, they are capable of combating Time Lord technology, even going so far as to disable the Doctor's Tardis and capture it. This new Dalek Empire was created by Davros himself, by using his Kaled cells. The fleet comprised over 200 warships, with millions of Daleks stationed around there. While mentally damaged, Caan was regarded as a prophet. Due to his actions, Caan was regarded as highly important. Davros suspected and defended him against anybody who criticised him, including the Supreme Dalek, who did refer to Caan as an abomination. Ultimately, no one knew what Caan was plotting against them all. Having designed and built the Crucible, which would be the new flagship and super weapon of the Dalek Empire, they began their plot. The station sat at the heart of the Medusa Cascade, and had a core comprised of xenon trino energy to power the reality bomb. With the commencement of the Daleks' plans and moving a fair few planets, Caan foretold the Children of Time coming together. This being the Doctor's companions, including the likes of Sarah Jane Smith, Martha Jones, Rose Tyler, and many more. While Davros would have had the upper hand against the Doctor and his companions, including the Meta-Crisis Doctor and Donna Noble, he made one mistake. He shocked Donna, which activated her dormant Time Lord mind. Caan had foreseen this event all along. Davros, enraged, asked Caan what was going on. The 10th Doctor realised that Dalek Caan had seen these events and manipulated the timelines to ensure this event would happen. Caan binding the Doctor and Donna together to fulfill these events. The last remaining member of the Cult of Skaro decreed that the Daleks would be destroyed, pressuring the Meta-Crisis Doctor to destroy them forever, which the Meta-Crisis Doctor did. The Cult of Skaro died of Dalek Caan, who could not move and was therefore destroyed with the destruction of the Crucible and the forces of the new Dalek Empire.
And off we go!
The Cult of Skaro was no more following Dalek Caan's death aboard the Crucible. All members of the organisation had been killed in action. But when we look at it, did the Cult of Skaro succeed? While created to ensure the survival of the Dalek race, and given the ability to think creatively and use their own initiative, it kinda backfired massively. Daleks like Sec and Caan saw the horrors of their species and worked to undo them and change themselves. However, Daleks Thay and Jast didn't really see it that way. Now, we explain the history of the Cult of Skaro in full detail. However, as time travel is involved because this is Doctor Who, there are events involving the cult which are hard to place in the timeline. For example, many knew of the existence of the cult. The last Great Time War era Time Lords were made aware of the Cult of Skaro due to looking at the Doctor's future. However, while becoming aware of the cult, they had no intelligence on them, confirming rumours of this Black Ops unit existing. It concerned the Time Lords, making them wonder how far the enemy would go to achieve victory. Others thought they could take advantage due to their uniqueness, such as the individuality and initiative. For example, some suggest that they reasoned with the cult. Time Lords also foresaw the invasion of Manhattan. Then they moved their attention to Dalek Sec. He was the most open of the cult to new ideas. The other three Daleks, Jast, Thay, and Caan, defaulted to their typical Dalek responses when faced with new options. Sadly, the Time Lord's plan of extracting the human Dalek Sec from his time stream did not come to fruition. Even so, the Time Lords were extremely shocked and worried to be aware of Dalek Caan's incursion into the war. Ultimately, the Cult of Skaro failed their mission. Dalek Sec was killed by his allies, and Dalek Caan died, taking the new Dalek Empire with him. But of course, the Daleks would rise again, as they always did. So while the cult was created to ensure the survival of the Dalek race, it ultimately caused the species' downfall and cripplement again. Of course, they would survive by other members, but not in the same strength as before. Okay, that's our Doctor Explained report on the Cult of Skaro. Did you enjoy it when these Daleks were on screen for the first time? Dalek Sec certainly changed from the usual design we're familiar with, both as a hybrid and the black armor casing Dalekanium. That was pretty cool. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Doctor Who news, lore, and more, hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from my team here at Tardis Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Doctor Who universe. That's it from Tardis Central. I've been Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.